Hello and welcome to this session of Yoga for Vitality. My name is Platt-Finger. The summer solstice is here in the Northern Hemisphere, the longest day of the year. It's when we have most exposure to sunlight, and therefore we are able to most cultivate the qualities of the sun within us, which are our own radiance, our vitality, our sense of power and empowerment. So in honor of this auspicious day, I thought we'd do a practice to celebrate the sun. So for this practice, you'll need a couple of blocks, maybe a blanket and a mat, or if you don't have a mat, you can always use a towel, but just make sure you have a clear space. So let's get started. Come into a comfortable cross-legged seat. You can sit up either on a blanket or a cushion, whatever's most comfortable for you. Allow your sitting bones to evenly release down into the support of the floor. We're going to begin this practice by stimulating the solar energy within us, which is on the right side of the body. So in order to do this, you can bring your left palm to face up, your thumb and pointer finger to touch. Take your hands up and place your ring finger over your left nostril, your thumb over the right nostril. Close your eyes, and without clamping or blocking the nostrils, just take a breath in through both nostrils and breathe out through both nostrils. Now blocking the left nostril, inhale through the right. Hold and block both nostrils gently. And let your chin drop slightly. And release your left nostril and exhale. And again, block your left nostril, inhale through the right. Hold and block both, gentle retention. Release the left nostril and exhale. Again, blocking the left, inhale through the right. Hold and retain the breath gently. Release the left and exhale. Do this twice more on your own. Opening up the right nostril. Stimulates the solar, active, masculine part of our being. Part of us that's able to execute, to think in a linear fashion, to activate and motivate. After you've finished this next round, keep your eyes closed and rest the backs of your hands to your knees, your thumb and forefinger to touch. Just notice what you feel. Maybe you feel a little more alert, more clear-minded, more able to be present. We'll let the chin drop down towards the chest now and slowly float the eyes open to a point a little bit in front of you. Let's come up onto hands and knees now, sliding the wrists under the shoulders, the knees under the hips, fingers spread comfortably wide. Just beginning to move on the breath here, reach your heart forward as you inhale, face looks up, sit bones lift. On your exhale, press the tops of the feet into the floor, rounding your spine, dropping your head down. Inhale, arch the upper back, face looks up, sit bones left, back the neck stays long. And exhale, press the tops of the feet into the floor, rounding your spine, pull your belly button up, away from the floor. Do this a couple of times on your own. Try and allow the length of your inhale to match the length of your exhalation. And then coming back into a neutral position with your spine now, we'll stretch the right leg straight back, curl your toes into the floor and press back through the heel. Just feel that stretch in your calf, your Achilles tendon. And then shift a little bit forward, keep the fingers spread nice and wide, lift the right foot straight up off the mat. Try and pull your navel, your belly button up away from your floor. That's your solar plexus, relates to the energy of fire. As you reach your heart forward, breathe in. As you breathe out, draw your knee into your forehead and round your spine. Inhale, press your right heel straight back behind you. All 5 toes point down. Exhale, round your spine, knee to your forehead, hollowing your belly. Once more like this. Press the right heel back as you breathe in. And your knee into your forehead as you breathe out. Really pull the belly button up here. Lower the right knee down to meet the left and we'll switch sides. Stretch your left leg back, curl your toes, press back through the heel. Shift the weight a little bit forward. Lift the left foot straight up off the mat. Reach your heart forward as you breathe in, shoulder blades on your back. As you breathe out, round your spine. Draw your knee up towards your forehead. And again, press your left heel back as you breathe in. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. And exhale, round your spine, knee to forehead. Once again, press back through the left heel as you breathe in. Shoulder blades on your back. Bring your knee to your forehead as you breathe out. Now extend your left leg back and lower the left knee to meet the right knee. Take your knees wide, big toes touch. Sit back onto your heels, child's pose, propping up onto your fingertips. Rest your belly onto your thighs. Your forehead can either rest on the floor or even on a block or a thick book if you have one. Breathe in and feel the side ribs expand. Breathe out and feel the rib cage contract back in towards the midline. Now that helps you to activate that fire, the solar energy, when we expand the ribs as we breathe in and contract them back in towards the midline as you breathe out. So notice how that activates and motivates you. And now coming back to hands and knees, we'll keep the hands a little forward of the shoulders. Curl your toes into the floor here as you inhale. As you exhale, slowly reach your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Keep your fingers spread nice and wide. As you press your hands down, reach your hips way up and back. Make sure your heels are aligned behind the widest part of the feet. You can even pedal your feet out a little bit if that feels good for you. But eventually, working to reach both heels simultaneously back and down. As you next inhale, come forward into plank pose. Shoulders over your wrists, legs strong, gaze a little forward. Now, if you're sinking in your pelvis here or collapsing in the shoulder area, then go ahead and drop your knees. Keep your low belly engaged, keep your gaze forward, and work the plank pose here. So you're looking for this long line of energy from the top of your head down to the base of your spine. As you next breathe out, press slowly back to down dog, or if you'd like to stay on your knees, you can press back into a version of child's pose. You're going to move in and out of these poses. You come forward into plank or modified plank as you breathe in. Press back to down dog or to child's pose as you breathe out. Excuse me, twice more like this on your own. Coming forward to plank or modified plank, back to down dog or resting in child's pose. Once again, breathing in, keep your shoulders right over the wrists, legs strong, gaze a little bit forward, and then press slowly back to downward facing dog. Now take a peek up at your hands and walk your feet to your hands. Bend your knees a little bit so you can rest your belly on your thighs. Make your feet about a fist or 2 fist distances apart, and just let your head hang here. Relax the top of your head down. Shake your head from side to side and forward and back. Just noticing what this feels like. When you soften and relax. Still keep your legs strong. Keep your knees a little bit bent. Begin to walk your hands up the fronts of your legs so that your head is the last to come up. And finding your way into Tadasana, mountain pose. Take your heels behind the widest part of your feet, spread your toes, and sense that you could draw the energy of the earth up through the soles of your feet. Feel that subtle lift of your pelvic floor that awakens you, keeps you connected and present. Now let your palms face forward and feel your head and your neck easeful here. So just standing for a moment in your presence, in your power, in your light, in your radiance. We're going to move on the breath, take a couple of half sun salutes, so I'll guide you through them. Starting in Tadasana, as you inhale, stretch your arms up overhead. Let the palms touch a little bit in front of you. As you breathe out, dive forward over your legs. Hinge from your hips, releasing your head to the mat or on blocks. Inhale, bring your hands to your shin bones. Lengthen your spine. Gaze a little bit forward. As you exhale, fold back forward over your legs, releasing your head. As you breathe in, stretch the arms out, around and up. See the palms touch a little bit in front of you. Keep them touching as you lower your hands down the midline of your body. We'll do this again. Sweep the arms down, around and up. Feel the breath move into your side ribs. Exhale, dive forward over your legs. A little bend through the knees to release your spine here. Inhale, bring your hands to your shin bones. Lengthen your spine. Gaze a little bit forward. On your exhale, forward bend over your legs. Uttanasana, forward bend. As you breathe in, sweep the arms out, around and up. Palms pressing at the top. Keep them touching as you take your hands down the midline of your body. So now we'll add on into a sun salutation, sweeping the arms down, around and up as you breathe in. Fill up in your side body. As you exhale, dive forward over the legs, bending at the hips, head towards the mat. Inhale, bring your hands to your shin bones, lengthen your spine, gaze a little bit forward. On your exhale, bend the knees, touch your fingertips to the floor, step your left foot way back to low lunge. Keep your back thigh strong, and now step the right foot to meet the left foot, coming into plank pose. Take an inhale here, with or without your knees, bend your elbows straight back, come all the way down to the floor in one unit onto your belly. Press back through your toes now, and begin to peel your chest, your neck, your head up off the floor. Back the neck stays long. Press all 10 toes down, baby cobra. As you next breathe out, lower your head to the mat, curl your toes, press back to hands and knees, and lift your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Take 3 slow, conscious breaths in and out. Again, inhale fully. Exhale fully. One more smooth breath in. And breathe out through the nose. As you next inhale, look forward to your hands. On your exhale, step your left foot up. You can help it up if you need to, if the foot doesn't make it there on the first shot. As you next breathe in, step your back foot forward. Bring your hands to your shin bones and lengthen your spine. As you breathe out, soften your knees. fold forward over your legs. As you breathe in, sweep the arms out, around and up, palms to press at the top. Exhale the hands to the heart center, Tadasana, standing tall. We'll do this again, sweep the arms down, around and up. See if you can initiate the movement from your breath. Feel the exhale fold you forward, coming all the way down. Slight bend at the knees if your hamstrings are tight. Inhale your hands to your shin bones, reach your heart forward. Gaze a little bit forward here. Bend the knees, touch your fingertips to the floor. Now the right foot steps way back to low lunge. Keep the back thigh strong as your left foot meets your right foot, plank pose. Keep your gaze a little bit forward, again, with or without your knees. Lower all the way down in one unit. Bend your elbows straight back. Press back through all 10 toes. Once again, you can come into baby cobra and either keep this version of a back bend, or if you don't have any lower back or wrist issues, slide your hands back a couple of inches. Begin to straighten your elbows, lifting your belly, your hips, your thighs, even the knees lift up for up dog. Roll your shoulder blades back and lift up through the center of your chest. Now curl your toes into the floor, and from your belly, pull your hips slowly up and back, coming back into downward facing dog. Spread your fingers, adjust your feet a little bit here. Feel the structure of the pose. And then you can feel the freedom, the spaciousness. But getting very intentional with the positioning of your body. As we become more intentional, we're able to feel freedom and ease. Take an inhale, look forward to your hands. This time as you exhale, right foot steps up. You can help it up if you need to. On your next inhale, step your back foot forward to meet the front. Bring your hands to your shins. Reach your heart forward. As you exhale, forward bend over your legs. Breathing in, sweep the arms around and up. Palms to touch at the top. Exhale the hands right back down the midline of your body, standing tall, Tadasana. We'll do this again, adding on, sweep the arms out, around and up. So continuing with this flow now. As you exhale, dive forward over the legs. Use your whole breath out to get there. Inhale, hands to your shin bones, reach your heart forward. Exhale, bend your knees, touch your fingertips to the mat, step your left and your right foot back to plank pose. Take a breath in here. This time as you exhale, you can either lower half or all the way down. So see if you can pause at halfway, then uncurl the toes. You can either come right into upward facing or stay with the baby cobra. As you exhale, again, press slowly back to downward facing dog. Lots of different options. Find an option that suits you in your body and stay with what enables you to sustain, to commit. All of those qualities of the sun, our ability to commit, our sense of will, our sense of inner power. Just cultivating that with these postures. Look forward on your in-breath. Now bend your knees. You can either walk, step, or spring your feet up and jump them forward in between your hands. Come halfway up into a flat back. Lengthen your spine. As you exhale, again, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, circle the arms out, around and up. Exhale, take your hands to your heart center, Tadasana. I'm going to take two more like this, Surya Namaskar A. Breathing in, sweep the arms down, around and up. Breathing out, dive forward over the legs, hinging from your hips. Breathing in, hands to your shin bones, lengthening your spine. As you breathe out, you can either step back to plank or bend the knees, plant the hands, jump your feet straight back, landing with bent elbows. So take your choice. Inhale, either to up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, slowly back to downward facing dog. Arrange your feet, arrange your hands. Feel your breath freely flowing in and out. Then gaze up to your hands, rise up off your heels. Bend your knees deeply. Keep looking where you're jumping and either walk or step or spring your feet there. Shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, hands to your shins. Reach your heart forward. Exhale, soften your knees, forward bend. Inhale, stretch the arms out, around and up. Exhale, hands down the midline of your body. Once more like this, sweep the arms down, around and up. So just finding your flow now. Exhale, forward bend over the legs. Head towards the mat. Breathe in, take your hands to your shin bones, lengthening your spine. You can either step one and the other foot to plank or bend the knees, plant the hands, heart forward as your feet jump back, chaturanga. Inhale to up dog or baby cobra. Exhale, pulls you slowly back to downward facing dog. Just staying mindful in your body. If you need a rest, empower yourself to make the choices that are right for you. Right? So that energy of fire of the sun is what gives us that perseverance, our sense of autonomy. Inhale, look forward. You can either walk, step, or jump your feet to meet the hands. Breathing in, come halfway up into a flat back. As you breathe out, forward bend over your legs. Inhale, circle the arms out and all the way up. See your palms touch. Take your hands down the midline of your body. Let's just pause here for a moment, floating the arms down alongside the body. Just notice what you feel, the heat you've created, the blood circulating and flowing through the body. Maybe you're a little more able to be connected and present. Maybe you've burned off excess thoughts, attachments, chatter that is not serving you. We'll bring the hands to the hips now. Separate your feet about a fist or 2 fist distances apart. Hands to your hips as you breathe in, lift your heart. As you breathe out, begin to fold forward over your legs. Take a little bend through your knees, especially if you're rounding your spine to come forward. So we want to keep the spine nice and long and spacious. Now, if it's okay with your wrist, you'll lift one foot up, slide the palm to face up underneath that foot, and do that with the other side. So lifting the left leg up, slide the hand underneath, palms facing up. So this is very therapeutic for the wrists. A nice stretch for the wrists. Let the head release down. Maybe you want to shake it a little bit, side to side, forward and back. So you don't get too overheated, not governed solely by doing, but also connected to feeling. Finding that balance. Lift your feet up, slide the hands out from underneath you. You're going to take the feet wide now, as wide as your mat. Toes point out a little, heels draw in a little. Go ahead and bend your knees. And come to sit sit into a squatting position. So you can take a block or 2 blocks and slide them underneath your sitting bones. Elbows to the inner thighs, palms touch. Lift up through the center of your chest, back of the neck stays long. Take a few breaths here. And breathe in and out through the nostrils, directing the breath to the back of the throat. Make that whispery-like sound. And then slide your hands behind you, take a block out from underneath you. Come to sit on the floor. Draw your knees in towards one another. Keep your spine nice and tall. Lift one foot up off the floor. Lower that foot down and switch sides. Take the other leg up off the floor. Do this a couple of times. You can alternate right and left. Just working to keep your spine nice and tall, or you can lift both feet up at the same time. If you can do that without rounding, collapsing, or forcing the breath, you want to still feel a sense of ease as you exert a little bit of effort. So effort and ease together. Maybe you stretch your arms out, palms face up, breathing in and out. Stimulates that solar plexus area at the navel, fire center. Take one more smooth inhale. As you exhale, place your feet flat onto the mat. Take your hands back behind you. Walk your heels in just a touch. Press the feet down and lift your hips up. Try and press into the big toe mound of your feet. You can let your head lift up a little bit, but keep some tone in your neck. Relax your jaw. Big breath in here. Open up your mouth and stick out your tongue. Lion's breath. Lower your seat back down. Come to sit up now, soles of the feet together, knees come wide apart. Adjust your seat a little bit from side to side. Take your fingertips back behind you. Lengthen your spine as you inhale. As you exhale, begin to lengthen forward over the legs. Breathing in to lengthen. Exhale, deepen a little bit more, not from force or strain. So now using that heat that you've created to become even more intentional. Eventually to burn off the striving. So we use the heat to dissolve the imbalances of the heat. Dissolve the ego, limiting thoughts, attachments. Slowly, in your own time, begin to make your way back up. Gather your knees in towards one another. Scoot forward to the front edge of your mat. Stretch your arms out in front of you, breathing in. As you breathe out, you can grab your block or your thick book if you have one on the way down. Just slowly begin to lower down onto your back. When you get to the very bottom, take your block or your book, lift your hips up and slide the prop underneath your sacrum, that flat part of your low back. Now we'll take Surya Mudra, one palm on top of the other. I'll show you what that looks like. You're making a fist with your hands. Okay, so take this hand gesture as you rest on the block and place it onto your navel. And you're just going to make a circle around your belly button, moving in a clockwise direction. Very calming, eases anxiety. helps aid in our digestion. Then you can move the circle in the opposite direction. So just move it in a counterclockwise position. Release your hands down now. Palms face up. Shoulders relaxed. Resting in the space that you've created. In your own time, you can begin to lift your hips up off the block, slide the block out from underneath you, and lower back down one vertebra at a time. When you get to the very bottom, hug your knees in towards your chest. Just give them a little squeeze. Circle your knees in one direction. Circle the knees in the opposite direction. Placing your feet flat on the mat. Lift your hips a couple of inches. Shift them to the right. Lower them down. Take your feet up off the floor and drop your knees to the left. Recline twist. Bring your left hand on top of your right thigh. Extend the right arm out. If this shoulder is way up away from the floor, then you can rest your wrist or your forearm on a block or a cushion. Close your eyes. Just massaging the inner organs. Releasing the low back. Gently stimulating that area at the navel here. Roll back onto your back, feet on the floor. Lift the hips up, shift them over to the left, lower them down. Take your feet up and drop your knees to the right. Left knee on top of the right knee. You can bring your right hand on top of the left thigh. Extend your left arm out. Again, you can rest it on the block or on a cushion. Close your eyes. Just let the shape of this pose do the work for you. So the effort, the work, the heat that you've cultivated now giving you the ability, the power to surrender. Just fully release and let go. Roll back onto your back. Lift your hips, shift them back to center. Adjust your body so you can stretch your legs out in front of you. Let your legs release naturally open. Palms facing up, shoulder blades releasing down your upper back, head and neck easeful. Closing your eyes. Visualize a glow of light right at your navel center. Feel that light from your belly travel up to your heart, the center of your chest. As you rest in that space, that light, right at the center of your chest, allow the light begin to radiate and expand out into each cell of your body. Feel each cell of your body radiant and glowing. This vibrant light. As you get more quiet, it's as if that light could expand beyond your body, like the glow of the sun. These electromagnetic rays of light expanding around you. And just bathe in that. Your own luminosity. Take a full breath in and a deep breath out. Exhale all the way. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle the toes. Stretch your arms up overhead and take one side longer than the other. And stretch the other side longer. Bend both knees. And roll over to your right side in fetal position, curling into a little ball. Press your hands down into the mat, and with a heavy head, slowly come on up into an upright, cross-legged seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Just notice the space, the peace, the clarity that you've created. Your palms to touch and bow your head down, allowing that clarity to enable you to experience the truth of who you really are, the essence of your being, which is infinite potential. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have an awesome rest of your day. Namaste.